Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's so great to have you here today. You are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents Celebrate Great Britain Royally Rich Show. My co-host is Mr. Al Cini, and the stars of our show are Pelham Turner and Helena Chard. And we have some incredible guests backstage. I can hardly contain myself. This program is all about celebrating businesses, tourism, and communities between our two great countries, the United States of America and Great Britain. Let me bring out Mr. Al Cini. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Thanks. This is my favorite time of the week. We're going to have so much fun today. It's going to be such a great program. Among many other things, Ian and Helena will be talking about President Biden's visit to the UK. I want to hear all about that. But before then, you don't have to be the president of the United States to go to the UK. You might have to be the president to meet the Queen or Dr. Jacalyn. But there's so many wonderful things to see and so many wonderful things to do and great people to meet, like the people we have on our program today.
Yes, for sure. Let's bring out Ian and Helena. Our friends join us. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Helena.
How are you all?
All fine, thanks.
Oh, fantastic. So excited about the guests that you've brought today and also about the news that you're going to share.
It's a great day. I feel very proud, and so does Helen. I feel very proud, along with yourselves at the show. I hope that will really transpire today. And we're in a heat wave, Dr. Jacalyn. So Alfie, we're in a heat wave.
Are you happy about that?
Well, actually, yeah, I think it's great. I think it keeps us upbeat. It might be a little bit hot, but it's
hot. I'm wearing this jacket and we've got a fan on.
I understand. I went for a walk yesterday all covered up with a hat and sunglasses, and I got all burned here. Just one little part of my skin I missed. So it's hot here too.
It's pretty warm here too. Yeah.
Well.
Anyway. It's going to be a good show. We're happy.
It is.
So I'm going to start with some news, and then we'll head on to our little chat. So starting with congratulations to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex on the birth of Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. So very happy for them. It's a very different royal occasion, as you can imagine. And Prince Harry and Meghan released the announcement actually on their website, which was novel, so on Archewell, and they're in fact on parental leave. So I'm sure they're having a wonderful time and enjoying little Lilibet, who's known as Lily. She was born on the 4th, but they released it on the 6th. And I think the thing about it is obviously you've got Her Majesty the Queen. It's an abbreviation of a very fond name that she's known as, which is Lilibet. She was given that name by George V, and it's something that her late husband, used to use all the time. So it's a little warm and endearing little thing that they've done. But also, obviously, Diana, late grandma as well. So it's all very super and happy and good fun. I don't know whether we have a picture to show, but it doesn't matter if we don't have. It's good. Okay. That's just a photograph that I took of probably one of the last occasions in the UK before they departed, and they were quite happy at that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So there we go. But
beautiful.
On, we're going to go into a different little scenario, stepping into a painting with Van Gogh. So obviously we're opening up here in the UK. We're hoping things will progress on the 21st, but actually we do have a few doubts, but never mind. Whatever it is, at this minute, it's an amazing exhibition. It's an immersive experience, and you actually become part of the arts. So you feel how it's an online thing. It's 20,000 square foot of area and sound, and it's a storytelling scenario. So can you imagine immersing yourself into Van Gogh's painting. I think it's very exciting. Here in the UK, it's in East London, 106 Commercial Street. This virtual reality tour is amazing. It starts in July, but I have been looking at tickets, not booked yet, and they have run out in July. So I think everyone has to get their marching boots on and book. It is phenomenal. And I'm now going to move on to something which is, well, what do I do? You know, I'm balancing at the minute royal with like normal news. And I think I'm going to move now actually to another exhibition which is on. And this is for people that really enjoy royal couture. Couture, I find quite a hard word in a funny kind of way. So it's celebrating royal couturiers, is that right? And it's a lovely exhibition that's opened in Kensington Palace. And it's to do with, it's called Royal Style in the Making. And it's in the newly conserved historic orangery. And that used to be a fantastic place to have afternoon tea, I have to say. But now they've got a great exhibition. I think Dr. Jacalyn may be there. I have a feeling. It's going to be a fantastic. It's open at the moment. I've not been. One of the big highlights, I think, is Princess Diana's, the late Princess Diana's iconic wedding dress by David Emanuel and his wife, and that's not been seen for 25 years, so that's highlighted. But there are a huge amount of dazzling numbers that really are fantastic to see. I don't know what anyone thought about Diana's wedding dress. I mean, she was stunning, and I have to say, I did like it, but I didn't love her wedding dress. I think it sort of engulfed her slightly, and she had this long sequin encrusted train, 25 foot, and it was all a little bit crumpled. It was fun and lovely, and actually looking at it as a whole outfit, brilliant. But I just think a little bit crumpled for her. Just my thoughts. And something I'm going to move on to as well, if we have any moments, unless we go into like a different discussion. We had spoken about Kashmiri goats. This was a long time ago. This was to do with in Llandudno. We had the curious nibbling goats that come down that were breaking into all everyone's houses in Wales, which is really good fun. But we have a similar thing here in East London. So in an East London housing estate, we have lots of deer that are suddenly grazing, and they've walked across from the busy A12 in Romford, and they made their home in Dagenham. They're actually they moved from their home in Dagenham, Essex. But what the great thing about this is that people as a whole community have come out, and a very sweet comment is a guy called Alex who said that he'd not spoken to people for so many years, and this one little thing with all these animals created a big stir, and he'd spoken to more people than he had done in 5 years. And obviously it's like a big photographic experience, and I just you can just imagine it. I wish we had a little photograph, but I think I love things like that bring communities together, and that's what we're all about. So that's something that we celebrate. And there are other things too, but I think one of the things that I would like to talk about, just quickly, moving on, because we're going to speak about Joe Biden and Jill Biden, but just quickly, happy official birthday to Her Majesty the Queen. Now, we've spoken about Trooping of the Colour on several times. It is a fantastic experience. This year it's 12th of June. It is the same as last year. It's not as extravagant because of COVID. But the good thing about the whole scenario is, what I feel, which makes me happy, is last year, Her Majesty the Queen was actually seen having a little jig, having a little dance, and enjoying all the music and the whole trooping that was going on, which is fabulous. And I'm really hoping that the same thing will happen this year. Again, it's a scaled back military parade, but the difference is she's going to be joined by her cousin, the paternal cousin, which is the Duke of Kent. One day we'll show a photograph of him. He doesn't get very much airtime, but they're very close. So it's good that he can escort her, and it's going to be a fun time. Obviously, Saturday the 12th of June is the parade, and then moving on to Joe Biden and Jill Biden are due to meet Her Majesty at Windsor Castle this Sunday, the 13th of June, which is very exciting, and I'm hoping it's still going to take place. I'm sure it will, because we have the G7 summit that's taking place in Cornwall, of all places, and I wish I was there. I'm sure we all wish we were there. It's a lovely place by the sea, beautiful beaches, absolutely fantastic. Obviously, they're doing a fantastic job. So good to talk about that, I think, Cini and Dr. Jacalyn.
What do you think as well, guys? The obviously you're hearing from across in America about this G7 meeting, so it'd be interesting to hear what you're gaining from that. We're hearing at the moment that Biden is going to try and persuade Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister, to actually help gain more support for the Northern Ireland question at the moment, because would you believe it, we're going to have a battle soon in Britain over sausages. Now, I mean, who more could laugh at Britain than there's going to be a ban on English sausages going to Northern Ireland. Now, what do you think of that?
Is that going to Northern Ireland or coming from the?
No, that's going to Northern Ireland.
Okay.
They're going to ban English sausages.
That's such a terrible idea. And, I think what's interesting is if the G7 gets together now post-Brexit and actually starts thinking about the larger world that they need to build, then I'm hoping a lot of these really silly little regulations will be inspected carefully and discarded, and we can get back to some kind of normalcy in doing business with each other.
What do you think about as well? Because there's a lot of talk on this G7 at the moment about trying to create bigger taxation laws against major corporations like Amazon and other sort of social media. Is that taken off? I mean, in Britain, we're starting to feel all the time that in reality, a lot more that they are legally, I should say, first of all, diverting costs so that there isn't so much tax paid in the UK. Do you find there's a sort of a similar type of feel?
In the US, I think there's a growing sentiment that government is being replaced by corporations, and that corporations need to be regulated more carefully and that they need to be taxed fairly, and that currently they kind of have a free ride. So I'm pretty sure it's true there too, but here there's this sentiment that corporations need to be held accountable. And I think it may be time for some moves in that direction.
I would agree with you. And I'd also, just to take it to just a different part of that, I think we've seen a lot when it comes to these huge platforms, social media platforms, for example, taking away certain people's rights to be able to speak, that they almost have more power than the government. So you're supposed to have freedom of speech, but yet freedom of speech is really being monitored in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I mean, there's some quite breaking news today as well. And I'd be very interested. I think I know, so Alfred's taken it already, but Oxford University, or one of the colleges at Oxford University, has asked for all the photographs of the Queen to be taken down, that they don't want to support the Queen anymore. And it was seen as past that they would rather forget. What's the American take on that?
That is, well, our take on that is the fact that it's a headline means we're intended to raise eyebrows over it. It is an insane point of view among so many insane points of view these days that it's become almost comical. I mean, it really is. They're canceling everything that they don't agree with for any reason. That's pretty much what Dr. Jacalyn said. And I think it's just time to move on from all that craziness. But I have a question for you, Ian and Helena. It's on a lighter note.
Yeah.
Naming their child Lilibet sounds like they're building a bridge and healing the family. Does that sound like that to you? Is that how you take that?
Sorry, you just slightly broke up.
I would say yeah. I want to say yes. I don't know categorically. I haven't been advised, but for my gut feeling, I feel it is a little bit of a bridge. But also, obviously, their child, the little girl, is going to be known as Lily, which is not quite the same as Lilibet in a sense. But, it's good. It's all good. It's all steps forward. And the whole thing is about embracing. And I think we all want to be working towards, talking about Joe Biden now, obviously taken over from Trump. He wants to heal the world, as they say. And it's a similar kind of thing. I think we all need healing all the way around. We talk about the reproductions of Sussex, we're talking about Joe Biden, and we're talking about 7. The whole thing is it's a whole healing process. And I think bringing it back to Joe Biden meeting Her Majesty at Windsor, I really hope that this happens. Obviously, we don't know if it's going to definitely happen simply because, of COVID and everything, but it is going to be the end of the G7. And we want it to happen. The relationship, we want that relationship to continue, with our closest allies.
Sure.
It plays a pivotal role. And the Queen has met, I think, funny enough, this whole time has met, I think, 12. No, it's not. It's something like 12. She hasn't met one of them after the unfortunate situation with John F. Kennedy and Jackie. I think we had Johnson, not Al Johnson, but somebody, President Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson, yes.
Didn't meet, unfortunately, but actually she's met 12, I think now, 12 prime ministers, which is phenomenal, which is fabulous. And so we really hope that this meets.
So, guys, what do you think President Biden would gain from meeting the Queen? Is it something that is really, is it a big, I was going to say a PR coup, and that's probably a bit cynical, but is it a big thing in America for him to meet the royal family, the head of the royal family?
Well, I'll just give my 2 cents. So I was also wondering, is it really for publicity? Like, what exactly is the intended outcome from the meeting, and will we be made aware of what the meeting is, or is it just for show? Because I think one of the things that we haven't talked about before, we're gonna have to go to break. So, but I think people in the United States, it's great that Biden's going there, but I think people really want to know what does the royal family have to say about the allegations that were made on Oprah Winfrey's show? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that information true? Is it correct? I know they came back with something, but I think people are still wondering about that. So, when Biden goes there, will he bring that up? I don't know.
No, I don't think he will. Normally with any of these things, they are well versed beforehand on the do's and don'ts. As you know, I covered President Trump for NBC when he visited the Queen. And forgot protocol. But I think with President Biden, I think he's a much more, be honest in the first place. And I think he will not be asking questions like that. All these things I think will have been decided beforehand anyway. And no doubt behind the scenes, fence mending may be happening right now. I'm sure it is, because we want to see the royal family stable. Obviously, we want to back together again, and it's part of our royal brand policy, isn't it?
It is. But don't forget, Biden and First Lady, they're here over on the G7, and it's just the ending of the G7 talks in Cornwall. So of course, it's an opportune meeting as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're going to discuss it. And you never know, there might be horse riding together. Majesty the Queen did Ronald Reagan. I'm sure they'll be trotting along fine.
Wonderful. We're going to take a break and hear from some of our sponsors. And when we come back, we will be bringing on our first guests. So stay with us. We're happy that you're here.
Great.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team, and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Meet the modern learner. Like most of us, the modern learner is short on time, on the go, and wants to learn on their terms and device of choice. The key is to meet them whenever and wherever they may be. The solution? Best-in-class content served up by the Engagement mobile learning platform, where the modern learner is at the center of the learning experience. For example, they can receive a text message that alerts them to a new learning module. They simply tap, watch, read and engage, or play a fun learning game. We transform your content into modules that are timely, accurate, academically rigorous, yet engaging and robust. Personality motivators are blended with modern adult learning principles to make it faster and more natural to absorb the content and have fun while learning. Our cutting-edge platform offers something for everyone. It can be an immersive experience where learners explore and engage based on what's relevant to them in that moment, or they can follow a set curriculum, earning badges and tracking points toward a credit or goal, or they can dive deeper into high-value professional content relating to their topic of interest. It's binge learning at its best. All this, along with an entire portfolio of real-time usable data and KPIs for stakeholders. Imagine, share up-to-the-minute news, enhance current curriculum, build knowledge banks, drive sales, and foster community in the push of a button. To learn more or see a demo, please contact support@engagement.com.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. Woo, we're so happy to have you here. Hey, are you out there watching us on YouTube? If you are, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, Dr. Jacalyn LLC, subscribe. Welcome back. We've got some great guests backstage, and I think we want to start off with a clip. Is that right, Ian?
If I can, just to give a quick explanation. So the first thing to do today is really to show the values of an organization called Future Youth Zone. And it's highlighting this 20-year-old young, incredibly gifted musician, OPHE Kambo, with their arts coordinator, Tania De Sousa. And it's really, for me, it's a joy to work with them. And you'll see why in a second, and then we will bring them up. But we have a video first, just to show exactly how brilliant OPHE is.
Great.
Excellent. Let's take a look.
So my name is Lizzie, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager at Future Youth Zone. I work on all the things digital for the Youth Zone, so our social media channels, our website, and kind of build our online presence and build our brand within the community and wider throughout the network.
You must see wonderful things here happening in front of your very eyes. How does that feel for you?
It's amazing. Like, the Youth Zone is such an inspiring place to work. It's an inspiring place to be. I always leave work feeling really happy and energized by the energy that comes from the young people. The young people get so much from being in the Youth Zone, and the Youth Zone is such a community that these young people can thrive in.
Have you got a large membership now? You've been going 2 years. So what is your membership at the moment?
So our membership at the moment, we are 2 years old, and our membership at the moment is just over 8,000 young people, which is incredible. We are the first London youth zone and have one of the biggest memberships across the network, which is we're really lucky to have.
What do you think brings people here?
The offer at the youth zone is incredible. We've got some amazing staff members who really care for the young people and really care about their well-being. They give them somewhere to come, something to do, someone to talk to, and bring the young people together. So I think the biggest pull for the young people is just the relationships they build with their youth workers in the youth centre, as well as having such amazing facilities for them to do over 20 different activities every single night.
OPHE, what does music mean to you?
Well, what does music mean to me? Well, music is like therapy, and also it connects to like what's inside of you. It can't get out, and it's hidden from other places. But music, like, I'm real passionate about it. Plus, I've been listening to music since I was a baby, and as far back as I can remember, like, I used to watch home movies of myself as a baby. I used to cry if anything's wrong, and for the first time, my dad bought me a CD of one of his songs that he used to listen to, and as soon as the first track starts to come on, I stop crying automatically. And that's what made me start loving music for some reason, because like I like to listen to stuff like the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. And what I like to do is basically have all types of music universal.
So I met OPHE 2 years ago when he came into the music room, and he was very anxious, he was very shy, didn't really want to talk to anyone. He just wanted to put his headphones on and play his guitar. So no one really knew just how talented he was, and literally one day he just let everything rip and went from one instrument to the other. And I was just blown away, and since then he's been involved in many projects that I've done, and he's able to communicate a lot since then. He's made lots of friends as well, so I'm really proud of OPHE.
My biggest dream is to work with other artists. Beyonce, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, The Migos, Cardi B, anyone in particular, really. If I could have done it, just give yourself a pat on the back, saying well done. You did what you had to do. You've done a very good job.
Terrific.
I directed the video, and every time I watch it, I get emotional. You know, because
I have been crying and crying.
Absolutely. You see something like that, and you see the most incredible organization, but then you see where this young man was withdrawn, and he would admit to himself in a second, he was withdrawn, and then music and the future youth zone as well actually helped him to find his way in life. And now he is so excited, I hope, along with Tania as well, to appear on American television. What could be better?
Let's bring them out right now.
Great.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Nice to see you.
Can I just say a couple of things, because I know we've got to get on with the interview, but first of all, it's very exciting for me personally and for Helena and for Jacalyn and Al to actually have OPHE on American television. You know, we are so proud of what he's done, and really with Tania's support as well, incredible support that's been given over the past couple of years. But the other thing I must do is that I've got to give a shout out, a very quick shout out, because I'm supporting the Champion for Children campaign, which is an open youth zone campaign, which is going out on Big Give platform right now as well. So we're just giving a shout out for that.
Shout out.
But,
Yes.
but can I just very quickly again, I'm so pleased that the two of you are there today. It's taken me forever to put this together. You know, I can't believe that finally we're here and we're doing it. So great to see you guys.
Brilliant.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, OPHE, Tania, so lovely to meet you online. So obviously we've seen the video, which is fantastic, but are you able to give a little bit more history again? So when OPHE arrived and the whole, you know, how he's developed, where he is now, what he's wanting to do?
OPHE, you can answer that.
Oh, cool. So, how I started, like 2 years ago, I was shy and I couldn't associate with other people that well. So I just had to be in my own element and just keep it to myself. Till now, I'm more confident and I can associate with everyone and be everyone's good friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, great.
You know, as I'm watching the interview, I'm thinking, OPHE, you're a great example of the kinds of opportunities that something like the Youth Zone represents. They're life-changing. What can we do here in the United States, maybe in particular in New York, to help you?
What do you think could help you?
Well, I'm not sure.
Got to bring you over and put you in front of a bunch of people. That's what we have to do.
Well, I don't know. Well, at least I can give that a shot.
Yeah.
Well,
he loves loads of like American artists, so I think New York will probably be the best place for him.
And isn't New York a pinnacle as well? Is, you know, for his type of music. So he's now being seen in one of the biggest centers of his type of music in the world.
History is being made, as we would say.
Oh, yeah.
Tania and OPHE, you both look so happy, which I love to see. And as I mentioned, I watched the clip over and over again. I was crying every time. I had to keep it together this time not to cry. But I'm wondering, you mentioned, OPHE, in the clip that we saw, that music has helped unlock things that had been inside. I'm wondering what other benefits for both of you are there to music?
What are the benefits of music for you?
Benefits of music.
Yeah, how's it changed your life? You talked about the fact that now you're able to speak with people and you hadn't been able to do that. How else has this music and your involvement, the ability for you to play, how has it changed your life or made you happier?
Well, in terms of it, it's basically, it has changed like what I've been going through and what I go through, even through good days and bad days. It still develops my mindset and mentality everywhere I go.
Yeah, and it's also, music has really helped him elevate his skills and his ability to work throughout different genres as well. So he's very versatile as an artist as well.
Wow.
That's really fantastic. It sounds like it's a great way to communicate your feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as well, when I was doing the video the other day, and OPHE had his guitar and he was walking down some stairs, who crowded around, the whole of the crowd crowded around him, and they were saying, "Ophe, Ophe, Ophe." The reality is, this young man, in my eyes, has become a leader as well. He's become an inspiration, not only for the organization, which is an incredible organization, but he's become an inspiration for the young people there at the same time, because it's very hard to break down shyness. And so it's very important at times that anything that helps to create the values that really are inside you. And inside Ophe, there's this incredible amount of spirit, this incredible amount of happiness. But sometimes I'm not the best judge. And so there may be more people that we can talk to this afternoon who may give some advice. What do you say, Helena?
I'd say yes. But I would say thank you. I think your story is phenomenal. It's very inspirational, and you're very brave talking about it, and it just gives us all, I think, that kind of hope. It's super. But really on that, we have a little surprise for you. When one of our very, very, very good friends heard about you, and he's very well known, he wanted to offer you some advice. So I hope you're ready, because we're going to speak to a very, very special man called Mo Pleasure. He's a super musician. He's got so many years of experience. He's worked with Earth, Wind and Fire. He's a multi-talented instrumentalist. I mean, I could go on and on giving him praise. I know that you'll love him, and he will be able to give you so much advice.
And he's worked with people like Michael Jackson, that I know is one of your all-time heroes. And he's working with people like Joss Stone and Pete Andre right now. So shall we bring our surprise on?
Here.
Woo!
Welcome! That's so lovely to see you. Thank you for coming on. We're really, really, really thankful. And I know as well that hopefully he's going to love hearing your advice and everything. We're able to chat for a little while to give a little bit of support and advice. That would be really great. And talk about instruments.
Mel, you're on mute.
Sorry, I'm on mute. Okay, there we go.
Welcome.
Hey, no, really, what an honor to be here. Thank you so much for that introduction, Helena, and Ian, and everybody. It's so great to see you, Dr. Jacalyn, and OPHE, Al as well. It's great to see you, OPHE, and to meet you, Tania. And your story really hits me. It kind of reminds me when I was younger, and it really made. I totally understand that, joy of music hitting your soul, and really knowing that's something that you want to continue with. And man, you are so talented. It's amazing to hear you play, and I can't wait to hear more. So I wish anything I can do to help you. I'm actually in London, kind of out of London now, but I've been, in the New York scene. I've been in the Los Angeles scene, Atlanta, and know a lot of people there. So just let me know if there's any way I can help.
Well, I'm ready.
Yes, you are. Absolutely.
3 powerful words. I am ready. I love it.
Yeah, no question about it.
This is such a great afternoon and such a great story. Everything I think we need to know about the value of Future Youth Zone comes through Ophe's music. The fact that he loves what he does, the fact that radiates in what he does. And Mo, do you see anything of yourself in that when you were his age?
I do, including just, the wanting to play different instruments. And, it was kind of weird because at that time it was like, stick to one and, just master that. You're trying to do too much and, this whole kind of thing. And, I used to play the violin, and I'd be in the orchestra, and then I still play like classical piano with symphonies and stuff like that, or whatever calls for. And film music and all this kind of stuff. I even played the circus for a while, and I've done a lot of musical theater, in addition to, my career throughout, soul and R&B, and from Ray Charles to Earth, Wind & Fire and all that, Michael Jackson. And I'm still with Bette Midler, so, That's for a musical director. That's a lot of different musical styles. So I think it's a plus to have that kind of versatility. And also as an artist, it helps you have a bigger palette to draw from when you're creating your own music.
Yeah.
Wow, if I can just say what an incredible moment this is when I think about everything that goes on behind the scenes, the work that you're doing at the Future Youth Zone, the fact, Mo, that you're here to give direction and support, Ian and Helena, your efforts to bring everyone together, and Al, you being here for this is a great moment, and who knows where it's going to go. So my question for the three of you, for Mo, Tania, and OPHE, is where do you see yourself going in the future? What's the next thing for you? We'll start with you, Mo.
Well, for one, I definitely want to work with younger musicians and I collaborate a lot in that way. But that's kind of like, to me, the future of the art and all the arts in general. And not just the actual arts themselves, but also just the even everything around it in terms of mental wellness and, how music is actually healing for us and what we go through as artists in order to, to do our jobs and to just like exist and go through things like COVID-19 and stuff like that. There's really, it takes a special toll on us in many ways. So I just think it's great to see the next generation, and it's assuring for me to see this people, like OPHE that are coming up.
Yeah, I think you brought out something that is so important, and Helen is all about this, but mental health awareness and how music is not only just good for the soul, it's good for our spirits, it's good for uplifting us. And OPHE, you had talked about the power that music has brought into your life. So I'm going to go over to you two and find out, what are your plans for the rest of the year and the future?
Well, I have to be honest, for the rest of the year, like what I want to do at the moment is record and release songs. And in the future, just want to work with big artists and their musicians.
Yeah, and in terms, for me, it's just to continue doing the work that I've been doing with young people and using music as a way of empowering them through their life, basically. That's what I want to do.
That's fantastic. Well, I have you spotlighted. Would you just talk a little bit about the Champions for Children campaign? We're running a banner where people can donate, but if they're not able to see the banner, is there any information you can give about that, or maybe somebody there can help out with that?
You just the link is below for more information. Just click on the link, read up on the campaign, and you can donate as much or as little as you'd like.
Perfect.
I think the reality behind the campaign is basically it's a week-long campaign, as I understand. And the campaign is a campaign run virtually every year by the organisation, and it's to raise funds for underprivileged children in the London area. So it's a great one to do. Can I just ask one last question of Mo as well? Because Mo, to get someone like of your standing on board for this conversation is fabulous. What are the bits of advice you would give this young man today in order for him to really get to his next stage, perhaps even being seen in New York?
Well, I would say that, if you're talking about working with the people that you kind of mentioned, that's really, in general, it's an LA kind of thing, like tours and stuff like that come out of LA. So one thing I'm going to say is consider moving to the States and consider Los Angeles too, because that's the kind of place where, word of mouth, just from having done it myself, I've done the East Coast, the West Coast and all that. And they each have their strengths and weaknesses as far as what they represent. But in terms of the kind of music you're talking about and being seen and kind of known, or at least be in touch with kind of the LA crowd of people that are doing stuff, so they can throw your name in. And then other than that, just you're doing it right. Just network and be yourself, and the rest will I think will fall into place.
What about as a musician? Are there things that he can strengthen the skill basis for him as well? Obviously, you're a highly skilled musician yourself, and as we've discovered, he's really finding it.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain. Yeah, I would just say another thing is just have as many your skill set together as much as you can, including I don't know if you read music or not, but reading music is great. That's gotten me a lot of my gigs, being able to somebody throw some music in front of me, and play or to conduct or whatever it is that I'm doing. So the ability to read music is a great thing to have. It's not necessarily you don't need it for every gig. They're not going to ask you on a Rihanna gig or something like that. If you read music, it's not going to be that important for that.
Ask you finally, what's the best bit of advice you would ever give to this young man?
I would just say, really continue to go after it with passion and, define the direction that you want to go in, and then just really head in that direction, whatever that be. Be it like the network that you're putting out there, the kind of people that you want to be talking to, putting yourself, like I said, in a place where there's like a Los Angeles or New York or something where that music is definitely being, tours are going out of those places and people can see you, and recommend you for tours.
Great advice.
Mo, just a quick question I have that is great advice. Is it important to, as opposed to if you want to be the headliner, I guess is the proper terminology, that's your ultimate goal, but is it good to start maybe in smaller venues or, be the warm-up act for someone else? I don't know if it's what the words are. But.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's in terms of, doing a live, like solo artist type situation. If you're doing Future Youth Zone, that's your project. But if you also want to be doing production on Rihanna or something like that, then that's another. The two directions don't exclude each other, but they require different things. You know what I mean? So your connections for what's going to take you on an artist direction and distribution and PR and all that. Have all those skills together, including your social media skills, your business skills of knowing about publishing and royalties. And how you get them from different places, which is a skill that a lot of people don't have, but I think it's very important to know where your royalties are coming from, and who's playing your music.
Can I just say one thing as well?
Sure.
Congratulations, you are great. You're such a great performer, great musician. And one thing never to lose is always enjoyment. Because there's no end of things you can always do, but you've got to keep that enjoyment and just keep playing, and things will happen, and people will be able to help you, along the way. So that's so important, that happiness, and keeping that happiness is really, really important.
Yeah, and if I can just add to that, and I think Mo, you might want to jump in on this. I think there's a great opportunity for you to get your name out there, your music out there over on Clubhouse. Clubhouse, the social media app that you can download on your phone. Yeah. Mo, what do you think about that?
I think it's great. I'm kind of new to Clubhouse. It's funny, it's come up a few times in the last few days, but yeah, absolutely. There's so many ways to do it, and take advantage of all of them. You probably know a lot more about social media than I do, but there's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names over there on Clubhouse. They're looking for artists every day. So,
awesome.
Great way to get known, to get your name out. Great.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, it's a fabulous segment. Thank you so much for being here, all of you. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mo, for being here also. It's great seeing you. I hope you get some sleep soon.
Thanks, Dr. Jacalyn.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go.
Take care.
We're going to take a quick break and hear from a couple of our sponsors, and then we've got another amazing guest backstage. And I seriously have to hold it together. So Every time I mention I play her song, I send it to my family. People are downloading and buying it over on Apple Music. It's just so incredibly beautiful. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at dianefloydboehm.com. Visit dianefloydboehm.com. That's dianefloydboehm.com. Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. My name is Al Cini, and Dr. Jacalyn, it's always a pleasure working with you. I want to make sure I get that right. And Ian and Helena may be down there, but they're up here, all of us. And it's so wonderful working with them. And you guys have done such a great job assembling terrific guests. I want to add something from our last segment. We got a comment on social media from Philip Chan. And I do want to highlight that programs like the Youth Zone, the Future Youth Zone, I think are terrific launch pads for people like OPHE. I think he's a great example of the kind of benefit that who knows what in the future will benefit all of us by programs like this. And they're to be congratulated for that. Wonderful.
Thank you. And I think the reality for both of us as well, this end, is that these types of shows can really highlight the values of real people, both in America and in United Kingdom as well. And that's really where we're coming across, because Celebrate Great Britain is all about celebrating the people, you know? And for me, that is so important, that the people who may not often get mentioned on a great show like this, they are getting sort of something that millions of young people would love to have. So thank you, the two of you, for creating something that has so much value to us in Britain at the same time.
It's a lot of fun for us too. I know I'm speaking for you, Dr. Jacalyn, when I say that. And you guys have another great guest for us.
We do. I don't know whether we want to play the video first. This is an incredible, beautiful young lady singer, ILO. Shall we play her video first? She's a singer-songwriter, and then perhaps we can have her on if that's okay.
I just want to let you know I have my tissue here for the tears. So here we go.
Okay.
Picture this, a life where you can leave your pain, a life where you can start again somehow. Picture this, a vision that can change a prayer, happy heart that's always there in the now. So don't be afraid of fear. You know, as long as we're still here, we can be anything larger than life. Rise up from the ground. We can fall down over 10,000 times, then turn it all right back around. We never imagine how good life can be. Inside you and me, we can see past these ghosts in the mirror. We're heroes in disguise. Heroes in disguise. Picture this, losing everything you got, never having had a lot, but holding on and on and on. Don't be afraid to dream, 'cause we are so much closer than it seems. We can be anything larger than life. Rise up from the ground. We can fall down over 10,000 times, then turn it all right back around. We never imagine how good life can be, but inside you and me, we can see past these ghosts in the mirror. We can be anything larger than life. Rise up from the ground. We can fall down over 10,000 times, then turn it all right back around. We never imagine how good life can be, but inside you and me, we can see past these ghosts in the mirror. Heroes in disguise. Heroes in disguise. Heroes in disguise. Heroes in disguise.
That was beautiful. Our unsung heroes are no longer unsung.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody.
Wonderful.
Well, can I just say, I watched it, I told you 20 times. I went downstairs, excuse me, I'm all choked up, and I played it for my mother. And she was all emotional. So your music is touching generations, which is so cool.
Beautiful.
I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you.
I mean, I can talk for Britain, but I'm emotional now as well.
Here, Ian.
I'm emotional too. It's an emotional day.
So much for that stiff upper lip stuff you guys talk about.
I find it hard to get the word out after watching the video.
I know.
You're an incredible person. Now, I know that you've appeared a lot in America. You've had your own shows in America, in places like Las Vegas. Are there differences between an American audience and a British audience, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a difficult question because I feel like I loved it so much over when I went over to the States and I interacted with people, and then every time I come back to the UK, I love it just as much. But the main difference, I think, is just I think there's more similarities than differences. I think the passion in people's souls translates, and I don't think it's different in the way that they take music in. If they know that there's a good song, they can relate to a real and honest message. I don't think it matters at all where they come from. I think people just can connect to a great song, as simple as that. But in terms of differences, of course, in musical genres and styles, it's just so different in the States. I was so overwhelmed when I was there because I have never seen such, a vast diversity of styles and how amazingly it's embraced collectively by everyone. For example, country music in the States is just such a wonderful reception there. And even though, for example, we have a lot of country fans, they're definitely on the rise in the UK. They're letting themselves be known, but in the States, it's like a boom and it's beautiful. And it made my heart very happy, especially because we were creating pop rock country music. But yeah, I definitely, I love being here, I love being there. So very, very lucky to have experienced both sides.
Beautiful.
I mean, that was sensational. I absolutely loved it. Very heartwarming, completely. And with everything, it's NHS, it's so much, but your voice is amazing. I mean, it's I don't know, it's something special, very, very special. I mean, it's very Shania Twain-y, but with this depth, it's very unusual and it's beautiful. So thank you for that. Really, really.
Anytime.
But also knowing that you've worked with so many musicians that are brilliant. Ed Sheeran, Daniel Bedingfield. I hope you can hear me. Dire Straits. What's it like to work with these greats, and you as a great as well? What's it like as a collaboration?
It's very inspiring. It's surprising. I've been very, very lucky. And it's very strange because when you grow up in a small town in Bulgaria like I did, and then you find yourself in London, UK, just trying to speak the language as a teenager and trying to find a way to even write in English because English is not my first language. And then going from that to, going on stage for the first time and forming a band within 2 years, already working with people I've always had the greatest, deepest admiration for. It is a fairy tale kind of thing, but also because I've been dreaming and working hard towards this goal ever since I was 6 years old, it does in a way feel very gratifying, very rewarding to get there and to have a taste of what it's like to, let's say, for example, open for someone incredible like John Ilsley from the Dire Straits, or open for Paul Rodgers and these people that I have, loved and whose songs I've sang all the time. It's an amazing experience. It's the best feeling, and you always learn so much from watching them and experiencing their live energy live. Only positive things. I've never had negative experience so far in that way.
That's wonderful. You know, ILO, Philip Chan commented on social media something that we all know from your performance today. You are an amazing performer. You did a great job for us, and thank you for that. And I know you're no stranger to the stage. You performed at South by Southwest in Austin. You've done work in Nashville. You've appeared in Los Angeles. You've appeared all over the East Coast. You had a residency at the Downtown Grand in Las Vegas.
That's correct.
You have any favorite memories you'd like to share with us?
Sure, I have lots of memories. One of my favorite memories is headlining, well, getting the chance to headline the Spotlight slot on Sunday twice at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. And it was really, like, truly such an honor to be there. It's a very small venue in Nashville, for those who haven't been there, but it's very legendary because you can literally feel, taste, smell the history, you know, coming off the walls from everyone great who has performed there. And I was very lucky to be there. So that was a really, really cool moment. And, you know, the funny thing is it's a small venue. It's very unassuming. There's nothing, you know, luxurious or posh about it, but it's just the energy when you walk in is indescribable and incomparable. And I recommend just for people to go there and have a look, because for me it was amazing to get on that little stage and have everybody be quiet all throughout. Very, very humbling experience. So that's one. And also, I really loved going to Las Vegas for the first time. I didn't have much time to explore Las Vegas and get a little crazy, but because I was performing 4 hours a day, every day, and we were basically sent there as a band to be featured as the new British invasion at the time. And it was just really, really, again, a crazy experience to come from London straight to Las Vegas and just get on stage and perform in a casino and have like amazing people come to you and sing your songs. We actually had a lot of fans fly over from the UK to come see our show in Vegas. And then when we made new friends and fans in the Downtown Grand in Las Vegas, they ended up flying to Europe to follow us on tour. So, you know, these are the kind of things that it's amazing to think that it happened. Still pinching myself a little bit.
Wonderful experience.
ILO, you're such a beautiful woman, and as Helena mentioned, we all know you have such an incredible voice, and the messaging in that song "Heroes in Disguise," it's obviously so touching. I downloaded the song and I had it on my phone. I went for a walk and I played it over and over. I was on the boardwalk playing it over and over. Everybody walking by, it's just incredible. So you shared with us already, you've worked with some amazing people, and you're also working with legendary Tony Moore, formerly of Iron Maiden. And I'm just wondering if you can share with us what work you are doing right now and anything that you want to have us help you promote.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Tony is my mentor and the person that I look up to the most. He's the most inspiring musician, producer, and friend, you know, just like a guiding light in life. And very, very proud to be able to create with him. So we started around 8 years ago creating music together. And even though now I work with various producers and songwriters all over the world at the moment, I still co-write with Tony all the time. And so during lockdown, we've been working on a few things and we're releasing together. I say we, but I mean me as a solo artist and Tony behind the scenes, releasing a new single called Double Meaning. It should be coming out sometime early next year. Fingers crossed if everything is good. Don't have a release date yet, but I will be recording more songs, putting around an EP and putting a tour around the EP to promote it. And I really hope to come back to the States because I used to come to the New York area every summer and perform there. So I really hope to come back to New York and promote it there. And you guys will be the first ones to know.
Wonderful.
Please do, because you definitely have a new groupie over here. So
Oh, definitely. I want to know about that for sure.
I know we've been streaming the banner with how to contact you, but for people who are on the radio, what's the best way to get in touch with you? And obviously I mentioned I went over to Apple Music, folks. You can go over there and download her music. You can do it right now. You've got a YouTube channel. You're also on Instagram and Facebook, but how would you like people to reach out to you?
Yeah, so it's very, you can DM me on Instagram. I like to talk to everybody who joins the page, and I'm very open to chatting to people. And my Instagram is Helena T Music. The same handle on Twitter. On Facebook, the handle is Helena Artist, and I do go live also every Thursday from my page. And I love to just connect with people and get to know their stories. So that's the best way, I think, to connect with me is either Facebook or Instagram. And of course, the music is on YouTube, as you said, on all social media platforms. It's all out there, up for grabs. And thank you so much for supporting me and having me on your wonderful show.
It's our pleasure. You know, I meant to ask Mo this, and I'm just going to have a follow-up question. So we talked about the difference in audience between the UK and then the US. Is there a difference in audience, and if so, how, between being out in Vegas, being in Nashville, being in New York, being in LA? What's the different vibe that you get, or the different demographics of people, if there is any, in the different cities?
I know what you mean. I think it's like, it's just a different, I don't know, sometimes it's different in energy. I got the warmest, most amazing vibes in the South. It was just the southern thing. And people really like to have fun and really get down over there. And that was really cool. But apart from that, I think maybe the most challenging experience has been LA for me. But when I performed in LA, I was a little bit younger and I had less experience than I do now. I think I would like to go back and see how would audiences react to the new material, if that makes sense, and perform with the full band. But I really do think it's just a matter of if it's a great song, if it's a great set list, and you sing it with feeling and you're truthful and honest and you are just who you are, I really don't think it matters where the audience comes from.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you. One more follow-up question, if I may, which is, I know as a producer and host, I still get a little nervous every time before the start of a show. And obviously you've mastered your craft, but I just wondered, do you ever get nervous or a little anxiety before you perform?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was a little nervous before your show today because I feel excited and I get overwhelmed. And I think being a little nervous, having that flutter or these things that you feel in your chest is very important because it just shows that you care and you want to do your best and that it matters.
That's a great
yes.
question.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Any final questions or comments for ILO? Because I hate to have her go.
I speak to ILO for ages. I've got so many questions, but I realise we're coming to the end of the show. And it would be good to follow up, I think. Because we have to go, I guess. Dr. Jacalyn, is that right? Or can we take one more question?
Yeah, we have time for another question, please.
Do you know what interested me? You said that you knew what you wanted to do at the age of 6 years old. Am I right in hearing that? You had that drive and you wanted it. You knew you wanted to be a singer and you went for it. And that's amazing. For me, I think that passion is incredible. And I think that's a story in itself. But I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about that, because to know what you want at 6 years old is something else.
Yeah, it does sound like an intense statement for sure, because I understand that as a child at 6 years old, you barely know what's going on in the world around you or yourself. And so it of course, your mind can always change, but I just have these really vivid memories of being 6 years old, 6, 7 years old, and just, I don't know, having I could see parts of my life as if on film, and I could see myself on stages. I could see sorry, that's the dog in my house. She loves to sing, by the way. So, and I could just see myself doing these things that I'm doing today, not in such a clear way, but you know, I would hold forks and different kitchen things as microphones, and I would try to play things, and I would like to perform for people, and even though I was a shy kid. And that translated. So when I was like 12, 13, and I was already trying to write songs, I got the same, I was a teenager with the same conviction. I just knew that I don't have a plan B. If music doesn't work out, I don't even consider another possibility of, you know, I didn't have a backup plan. And if I did, I abandoned that on purpose. Just to get that fear that would drive me to just do this one thing that I felt like I was made for. And it's, it's never really been a challenge to follow that instinct. But I think also I was very lucky that I knew what I wanted to do. It's hard to find, in a way, your calling. But if we do, it's important to nurture that. So
thank you so much. That energy that you've got is super, and I think that's a learning curve for other people as well that have that vague feeling is that I want to do something, to go for it, do it with passion, because
Can I just ask another question? With OPHE, our first guest on, I don't know if you saw it, when I interviewed OPHE for the video, he was quite quiet when he first came in the room, and then I asked him the question, what does music mean to you? And this big smile came on his face. ILO, what does music mean to you?
It means everything. It's life, it's therapy, it's love, it's a meaning of kind of my existence. It answers questions that I never thought would be answered just by feeling what music feels like, and it also is very mental health healing and nurturing. So in that way, it's everything. I don't think I could put it into words how much music means to me. It's the most powerful thing that we can experience because it combines everything that we go through.
That's, I think you just made a great point. Music was invented because there are no words for it. And so it is its own answer. I mean, some people belong on a stage. Some people belong behind an instrument on a stage. And it's always wonderful to watch those people communicate without words in magical ways. And you're a great example of that, ILO.
Thank you.
You know what, I think something that's, this could be a whole other show in and of itself, and I kind of wish OPHE was here. So we see ILO, at some point you started out somewhere singing and there were some people watching, and then all of a sudden people started catching on that you really had a gift, and then you became a brand, and then you became a business owner. And I think people lose perspective of that, because not only are you a talented, incredible artist, but you're also a businesswoman. You also have a business that you're running. And at some point, someone like OPHE will need guidance and counseling about how to actually run the business of being a brand like you are. So I'm just wondering if you could give some advice and direction to other people out there who are just starting out and they're thinking, oh, I'm a great singer, I'm a good performer. Well, it's a hobby until it becomes a business. And once it becomes a business, it's a whole other thing. So any advice or tips you could give?
You're absolutely right. It is a whole other thing, because when you're trying to use a creative brain and just make music and just put those ideas into words and melodies and kind of focus on the creativity side, it can be quite overwhelming and daunting to also have to do the social media and run yourself as a business on the side. And you have to differentiate the two. It's like the business side is quite mechanical, and you just got to do it. It's just part of it. And these days, whether we like to or not, we have to put in a lot of work ourselves as artists. It's not like back in the day we can rely on just a label and a radio station to do all the work. And we absolutely do need those people to help us do the work. But these days, there's so much more expected from us. I feel like it's almost too much, because we have to run our social medias and stay active and post quality content. And also connect, promote. We need to take care of our own merch, which includes our own design ideas. For example, I edit my own videos. I learned how to design my own CD covers. I do a lot of everything you see online. That's me before I got a team to help. And so my advice to OPHE and everybody else who's starting out would just be like, learn as much as you can by watching other artists' social media. It's actually, there's so much you could learn just by watching someone's YouTube channel or analyzing their pages and how often do they post, what do they say, who do they connect with, who is their demographic, and why did they choose to post this particular thing, and just stay as authentic as possible. Dog again. And that's it, in a few years. I mean, it took me a few years, but I learned how to do it all. So anyone can do it.
Well, I'm so proud of you, and I love your hat. And I was going to say another hat that you wear is a hat of a role model. So you're a role model for so many people, and I hope that people are understanding that when you see her out on the stage, there's so much that she had to do before she gets on that stage. Or if you watch her video, there's so much that goes into it, and we just really are so happy for you, and can't wait to have you continue your success and come back and see us again.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much. You've made my day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Isla.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, she was incredible.
She's a great performer, and she mentioned, she reminded me of an experience I had in Las Vegas. She lived there. We opened our program with a weather report, and you mentioned you're in the middle of a heat wave there. I remember a business appointment I had years ago in Las Vegas in July. And I was supposed to be someplace at 1 o'clock, and I was running late, and I jumped in my rental car and I started it up, and I looked at the dashboard and I saw 126 and thought I was late, but that was the temperature.
I thought you were going to say that's how fast you were driving.
So there are heat waves and there are heat waves.
Oh, we're very proud of our heat anyway.
Yes. Ian and Helena, I just have to thank you because I know how difficult it is to put a show like this together and bring the talent that you brought today. And I'm just so grateful to both of you. Thank you for everything that you do behind the scenes.
Brilliant job. Really, absolutely brilliant.
It sounds like Helena as well, getting all the news and everything as well. So
thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's a collaborative experience.
We love it.
Thank you.
We love you as well. So Alfred, we'll get you a knighthood.
I'll put the title back up again next week, but thank you. It kind of comes and goes.
Well, I guess that's a wrap for today. Ian and Helena, what can we expect for next week? Any secrets you want to, any little, dang?
We have some thoughts, and you know what? After watching the show today, and especially with ILO, there is another tearjerker next week, and I will talk to you about it first. But I think so there's another really fabulous young lady we should highlight.
Okay, I love it. I love it.
There's a few people I think which are going to be good fun.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you backstage in a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Keep warm. Keep warm.
Lots of shows.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. Did you get teary at all?
I'm not. I do get teary at something. That was definitely a touching, beautiful song, and I thought the subject was a surprise to me. I hadn't seen the video beforehand, and those unsung heroes finally got sung today, and I thought that was a beautiful, touching, wonderful moment, and great to be a part of it. And I can't think of a better way to spend a Wednesday afternoon than this.
Every time I play Isla's song, she has great body language, and at one point she raises her hands up. I raise mine up.
I saw you do that. I saw you do that. I figure you probably burn about 7,000 calories per show. I don't know if people really appreciate that, but you definitely put a lot into it.
And I stand for all the shows. So, I stand for the shows because I really want to stand for people around the world who can't stand. And so if you ever want me to dedicate a show to you, please let me know. Just contact me at Jacalyn@drjacalyn.com. But in between shows, I'm going to be listening to that song Heroes in Disguise again and again and again. So
after the program, I'm going to send you a list of people that I can't stand, and you can stand for them too. So
yeah. Well, that's a different kind of standing, I think.
I know, it's a whole different issue.
But can you tell us where people can reach you and tell us a little bit about the work you're doing over at BCAT?
Sure. Our job is to try to take any group or team or company and rally everybody around the purpose of the group or team or company. We found that when you align people with your purpose, wonderful things happen. We have a method for that. It involves everybody. All voices are equally valuable and equally valid. We don't care whether you just started yesterday and you're 19 or you've been there for 35 years and you're in your 60s or 70s. Purpose is for everybody. And That's what we do at BCAT. And I can be reached at al.cini, al.cini at getbcat.com. And thanks for the opportunity to talk about that, Doc.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to see you, and I look forward to seeing you on the business show, which is coming up at
this afternoon.
2 p.m. Eastern time, which is 7 p.m. British Summer Time. So thank you again, Mr. Cini.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks. So emotional over here. I just want to let you know that I thank each and every one of you. My book was launched on May 22nd, Behind the Green Screen, and it hit #1 bestseller. Actually, I have a little piece of paper on my computer to remind myself June 4th, #1 best-selling author. Why? Because there's nobody here to celebrate. It's just me. So I just have to thank you for buying my books, and thank you for writing the reviews. It's just tremendous. We are on our second book, which is Behind the Mask, Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity. And if you have a story to tell and you'd like to be interviewed to have your story in one of the chapters in the book, please also go to Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com to schedule a 30-minute interview. That's all for right now. We've got another show coming up in less than 45 minutes. It's The Underdog Show, starring Doctor Who of Business, Ben Chai. So I hope you'll join us for that. Please go over to our YouTube channel, please, and subscribe. Dr. Jacalyn LLC. It means so much. Seriously, I go and check each day and see how many more people have subscribed. And it's sort of like crawling through quicksand, but we're getting there. So thank you for all your support. And again, we'll look forward to seeing you very shortly. Take care.